there, it's Reagan. Before we get started with today's episode, I have a quick message for you. I want you to know that it's never too early to start with proper bookkeeping for your business. This has been my first year of business in 2022, and I really tried to make myself as accessible as possible to everyone that needs help with this aspect of running their business. With that being said, I'm going to be making some changes in 2023 that will allow me to serve my clients better and create more value for them. The first thing that will be changing is that my prices are going to go up for my bookkeeping services, but that's not until January 1st, 2023. I'm releasing this podcast episode in December of 2022, and if you're interested in working with me and want to take advantage of my introductory rate, you have until December 31st, 2022 to schedule a free consult with me and explore your options. It's a savings of 63% for the base price of monthly bookkeeping services. My services right now are based on the scope of your accounting work, but starting in January, it's going to be one price, and that will be all-inclusive for all business sizes. And that is truly going to give me the space to do my work and help my clients grow their businesses. So, if you would like to learn more about my bookkeeping system that I use for all of my clients, you can schedule a free 30-minute consultation call with me. The link to access my calendar is alleaseaccounting.as.me/consult. I can't wait to meet you. Now, on with the rest of the episode. All right, hi everybody. I'm coming to you with a little bit less scripted of an episode today. So I've just got a little bit of an outline that I've got going, and I'm going to talk to you about the basics. So in prior episodes, I've kind of talked about financial agency and empowering people to, be knowledgeable about what it means to make money in this society and to spend money and how people are categorized into different classifications by the systems that are in place, blah, blah, blah. Today, I really want to get down into the nitty-gritty of financial reporting and bookkeeping. So I've titled this episode, What is Bookkeeping? And that's what I'm going to explain to you today. Now, as I'm sure you know, I'm based out of the United States, so my scope of work is based on the accounting systems, the tax systems in the United States. So this might not be applicable to anybody that's listening from anywhere else in the world, but it might be similar. I don't really have experience with anybody outside of the United States in terms of accounting and financial reporting, so it may be similar or it may not be for you. If you're not in the United States, you're obviously more than welcome to listen, but just know that this may not truly be applicable to your situation in your country. But I appreciate you being here and listening regardless. So today we're going to talk about bookkeeping. So I'm a bookkeeper and a payroll service provider, and both of these things kind of go hand in hand, but that's how I describe myself to potential clients, to my audience. So payroll is a business deduction. You can deduct the cost of paying employees to do work for you from the money that you make selling a product or service. So that's why payroll and bookkeeping are kind of intertwined, and why I do payroll as well. Bookkeeping is a system of record keeping, and it's designed to categorize transactions that take place as a result of business activity. So your business activity is made up of the income or the revenue that you make from selling a product or providing a service or a combination. Business activity is expenses, so your day-to-day transactions, and purchasing equipment, borrowing money from other people or like banks or other financial institution lenders, and then the money that is invested into the business. So bookkeeping is necessary for all businesses, no matter what. And then I see a lot of people that are, quote, solopreneurs, so like solo entrepreneurs, people that are just really starting out. Maybe they've got like a side hustle, or they're part of like the gig economy. And these people, solopreneurs, think that they don't need to have a bookkeeping system in place when they're quote unquote small or not making a lot of money. And this is incorrect because the whole point of being in business is to make money, right? So we live in a society where, in general, like the majority of the time, you're spending money, and money is the currency by which we exchange something to have access to goods and services. So you can replace money with rocks. I mean, you have like diamonds and other like precious gems and stuff and minerals that have value because it's exchanged for something else, and it's a resource. So money is just a resource. It's just currency. It's just the thing that we give to somebody else whenever we want what they have, and that's like that consensual exchange of currency for goods or services or really access to something that you need or want. And the whole point of being in business, making money, in order to start a business, you have to have some form of capital to put into making money. So capital is something that comes in a couple of different forms. First and foremost, it's time. So you have to have capital in terms of time to put into creating a product or doing a service for somebody. So capital is time, or it could be money that you already have that pays your bills. So, we all need to pay something to have access to like housing, safety, food, clean drinking water, not just any water, treated water that's safe to drink. So you either have money already that you're paying your bills, you're making sure that you're housed, that you're safe, that you've got all your basic needs met, and you've got that money already so that you have time to work on your business, making a product or doing a service. Or you have money that you need to buy stuff with to make the product or to perform the service. So you have money either to pay your bills while you start your business, or you have money that you have to put down to acquire raw materials, to acquire equipment, or to buy software so that you can make a product or perform a service. And then finally, the last form of capital would be expertise or qualification. So expertise, you either spend a lot of time doing something to where you have experience and therefore you're an expert in that thing. And then people are going to want what you're selling if you have a lot of experience or if you're an expert in something. People are going to want to pay you money for something that you've made or something that you're doing. So that's expertise, or you have qualifications. So you qualify in some other way to make something or do a thing, and that can be qualification by way of education. So if you have like a degree, it could be a professional license that you have, or any sort of like professional training. So that's expertise or qualification. So those are the 4 types of capital that you can kind of like put into your new business. You've got time, you've got money to pay your bills so that you're safe and secure, all your basic needs are met in order to spend time working on your business, money to buy raw materials, software equipment that you need to do the service or make the product, and then finally expertise or qualifications. So many people new to business don't think that they need to have a system in place to do their bookkeeping from the beginning. And there are just as many people that have been in business for a long time that still don't see the importance of consistent record keeping. And when I say consistent, this is what I mean. On a regular basis that's more frequent than annually. So consistency is not putting receipts into a shoebox that you give your accountant each year during tax filing season. Consistency is at least monthly, if not weekly or daily. It's time spent observing your revenue stream and your expenditures. So some new business owners do have a sense of the necessity of bookkeeping, though, and that's great. But they learn that from somewhere, and so they show up to their startup either with a system or they create one along the way. So in the United States, we have what's called Generally Accepted Accounting Principles, and that's GAAP is the acronym GAAP. And this is a standardized set of accounting principles and guidelines that make it so that everybody's reporting their financial information consistently the same way. These guidelines are set up by the Financial Accounting Standards Board. So this is an independent organization. They're not for profit, and they establish the GAAP principles. So just like with any other major system in our country, but just, globally, such as education or healthcare, accounting in the United States is standardized so that no matter where you go or whose record you're looking at, you should be able to see consistent methods of reporting across the board. It's also standardized because of our tax filing requirements. So for our purposes on this podcast, we'll just focus on individuals and corporations just in general, but there are other entities that do need to file taxes. So individuals, mean just people, me and you, listening to this podcast. Individuals report their income to the IRS each year. That's our government tax agency, and that's how we determine what tax we owe to the government. So corporations do the same as well. They report their income to the IRS. And a tax return is just a report of information that you send to the government about your income each year. And so on that tax return is a calculation of how much tax you owe based on your income and whether or not you paid all of that tax. So to make things standardized for tax filing, the record keeping for business accounting needs to be standardized too, right? The tax laws dictate what kinds of expenses you can deduct against your business income. And they also indicate how different types of income should be reported. So considering all of this, it should be clear why bookkeeping and financial reporting is necessary. But not only that, it's important that it be accurate and based on these GAAP standards. You don't want to overstate how much income you made in your business, because that could result in you paying more in taxes than you're required to by law. Who wants to give the government more money than we really need to? Not me. And you definitely don't want to understate your income either, as this could draw penalties and cost you more money than you would have owed had your information been correct. So I don't want to take for granted that everyone understands how financial reporting, bookkeeping, and taxes work. So I hope that kind of gives you some guidance on why this is so important for every business. And yes, this means even when you are just starting out or doing a, quote, side hustle. More and more regulations come out each year that are designed to mandate reporting of side hustle income. So now that we've got the gig economy and it's grown so much over the last couple of years, income generated from these types of activities must really be treated correctly and reported accurately. So let me tell you about what I do now that you kind of understand why all this is important. For my clients, I work on a routine basis. I am 100% a creature of habit. I want to have a step-by-step process for how I do everything with all of my clients. It's really important for me that that's consistent so that I can plan out my time, but also so that my clients know what they can expect from me. So currently I have everybody on a monthly engagement for my services. And here's what I do. Each month, I look at their transactions. I classify everything that happens in their bank account, on their credit cards, for their business loans, etc. And I make sure that these things are categorized appropriately. And then, as we talked about previously in other podcast episodes, I reconcile their statements for all of their accounts. So balancing your books monthly is a requirement. So that's what I do for my people. They're paying me to handle that required task for their business so that they have time to serve their clients. They can market to new clients, they can manage their employees, etc., with all that time that they're not spending doing their bookkeeping. It's something that has to be done, but it does take time, which is why they outsource it to me. Finally, I do look at their reports and I make sure that they have access to copies each month. I want my clients to be looking at their reports so that mistakes are caught quicker and it helps them to kind of see the bird's eye view of their business. So sometimes people can get caught in the slog of the daily grind, and it's good to take a step back, look at the whole thing, and remind yourself of your business values and any goals that you want to achieve. So I make sure that they have those reports monthly, and that's the minimum I recommend people look at their finances monthly. Otherwise, it needs to be more often than monthly. There are some secondary things that I do for my clients that are an additional service on top of the bookkeeping, but that's what's at the core of my services. So for instance, I do process payroll for some of my clients, and that's more than just running checks, right? I help them manage their employees' data. I administer paid time off and benefits, so that would be things like retirement contributions, health insurance, etc. And I also advise my clients on better ways to manage their personnel. I also do sales tax filing for my people who have a sales tax liability. So both payroll and sales tax kind of flow with the natural course of regular bookkeeping, and that's something that I'm happy to provide as an addition when the client requests it. So just to recap this episode, I taught you what bookkeeping is. Bookkeeping is a system of financial record keeping that's based on standardized practices of reporting income and expenses. It's truly necessary when you're running a business at any level of growth. I want you to know that it's never too early to start with proper bookkeeping. And most people that come to me to inquire about my services know that. And even if they've already had a business up and running and they haven't really stayed on top of their bookkeeping, there's no shame in that, right? Sometimes we simply just don't have access to the things that we really want to be doing in our business. And so no matter where people are coming from, what position they're in when they come to me, I'm ready to help them. So I'm never going to turn somebody down just because they've been in business for a while and haven't been doing their bookkeeping properly or at all. I'm going to meet you where you're at, and we're going to get started on that journey together, and I'm going to help guide you. So it's never too early to start. So if you're interested in starting with me, starting bookkeeping, I'm going to tell you about that right now. So this has been my first year of business. I started All Ease Accounting in May of 2022. And I really tried to make myself as accessible as possible to everybody that needed my help with this aspect of running their business. With that being said, I'm going to be making changes in 2023 that will allow me to serve my clients better and create more value for them. The first thing that's going to be changing is my prices, and those are going to go up for my monthly bookkeeping services. But I'm not doing that until January 1st, and that's why I'm telling you about it now. I'm releasing this podcast episode in December of 2022, and if you're interested in working with me and want to take advantage of this introductory rate, me being my first year in business, you have until December 31st, 2022 to schedule a free consult with me and explore those options. So it's going to be a savings of 63% for the base price of monthly bookkeeping services if you engage with me before January 1st, 2023. My services right now are based on the scope of your accounting work, but starting in January, it's going to be one price, and that's going to be all inclusive for all business sizes. And that is truly going to give me the space to do my work and help my clients grow their businesses. So if you would like to learn more about my bookkeeping system that I use for all of my clients, you can schedule a free 30-minute consultation with me, and that'll be a virtual call. We'll kind of go over the scope of what your business accounting needs are, but it's not even going to be limited to that. You can tell me anything that you're struggling with in your business, and I'm here to help. So the link to get to my calendar and to take a look at my availability is alleaseaccounting.me/consult. That's ALLEASEACCOUNTING.me/consult. I can't wait to meet you. If you are enjoying what you're learning on this podcast, please consider supporting me through a subscription on Anchor.fm. Any donation amount is welcome, or you can simply share it with someone you know. You can also follow me on Instagram at alleaseaccounting and sign up for my email list at alleaseaccounting.com/subscribe. Thanks for listening.